everybody, this is Jackie here again with Amani Wells-Onyioha. She is with Soul Strategies, which is a political consulting company who has a lot of things going for it right now. It looks like you've just launched very recently. Can you tell us a little bit more about Soul Strategies?
Yes, so we are actually entering year three. So we are a
Oh,
baby, not recently, but recently-ish in
yeah,
this space. We're still a very young organization. We started in September of 2020, and now we are entering January 2023. So it is officially our third year in operation. We're
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. We survived. Amen. So we're going to hopefully keep on going and get better and better and better. We're a woman and minority owned organization. So I'm one of the partners, Amani, and then we have my other partner, Z, who's also my best friend. And we are the ones that are running this organization together. And essentially, we offer hands on campaign labor to different Democratic candidates all over the country, all up and down the ballot, and at all different price ranges because we wanted everybody to be able to have access to campaign labor. It's something that's very difficult to find. And usually campaign people hop from campaign to campaign to campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really hard just finding somebody that can work with you and really bring your mission, your vision to fruition. So we kind of have a dream team of campaigners. We all work here. We're a fully unionized organization. This is my cat. We're a fully unionized organization, and we work on fundraising, social media and digital, email, graphic design, mailer design. And then we have a huge field organizing team. So we do door-to-door campaigning, GOTV, deep canvassing, phone banking. We do press, endorsements, really the full shebang. Like our whole goal was to be able to run campaigns entirely ourselves, or if we need to fit into someone else's operation, then we can kind of do that a la carte, however they need us and for however long they need us.
So, I was told that you have an app that you guys have launched recently to
Yes.
help find canvassers or help find people who want to work as canvassers.
So the app is finishing off being built like as we speak. I think it'll launch sometime when January is almost over. So probably in February at some
Well, as long
point.
as it's done by the summer.
Yes, for sure. So basically, it's like the Uber Eats of canvassing. So people can look at their area and see if there's any canvasses happening, if there's any opportunities to hop on campaigns, and they can join from the app. And then on the campaign side, they can be able to keep up with all of the canvassing data, see it live as it's coming in, be able to see how the canvas is performing, be able to see where we are as far as how many ships are left, how many doors have been knocked. And it's just one way to kind of manage the campaign
Oh,
field side all in one place, because field is messy and crazy, and there's a million different things and a million different ways and a million different moving parts. So we
I
wanted to
can't
kind of,
imagine how they did field work before phones.
I don't know, people used to really be out there with just note paper, a pen, and vibes.
It's just seriously though. I worked on a congressional campaign, um 20 the it was in 2015 for 2016, and I'm just sitting there going, if I didn't have a smartphone, what was
What were you gonna do? Literally.
I know, right? Also, you have a 6-week program that helps new candidates learn how to raise money from phone banking and things like that.
Yeah, so we have a 6-week program. It's called Kickstart, and it's a call time program. So we train not campaigns. We train campaigns as in their volunteers and their core staff, the candidate, on how to do call time. We do call time with them, as in we'll be with them in session, dialing voters and donors, and then we just kind of help them set up their call time infrastructure. So providing them with donor data, giving them lists and scripts, doing pitch play with them to help them figure out how to close, helping them with the mindset piece, which is also a huge chunk of it because a lot of candidates just don't feel comfortable asking for money. And
Oh
that,
no, oh God, the guy I worked for, I'm just calling everybody he went to law school with, and it's just like,
they hate it.
okay, okay, old dude number one, old dude number two. And it's
Mhm.
like they're expecting it, but they don't
Yeah,
like it.
They don't like it. It makes them feel very awkward. So we just kind of try to let them know, like, you have to ask. Like, in order for you to get from point A to point B in this campaign, in order for you to be able to afford all the things that you need to get you to win, which is what we ultimately think field strategy does. It really wins
Hmm.
elections, and field campaigns are not cheap by any means. So you have to be able to ask for money.
Yeah, I mean, it was like $40,000 just for the four of us that worked on the campaign for like 5 months.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. Just for four people full time, and then everybody else was a volunteer.
Exactly. And then when you're talking about a huge canvas, like if you're running for a US Senate, you're going to need millions of dollars. A canvas to
Mm,
your whole district or state or whatever is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's something that is very expensive, but very effective, in our
yeah.
opinion.
So now we're moving. So 2023 to 2024, the speakership vote, it was crazy. What do you think that the speakership vote will actually mean for the 2024 season, especially in the House?
Ah, deep sighs. It's very interesting. I think the worst thing that came out of it was all of these crazy folks on the furthest right wing of the Republican Party being appointed to all of these really important
Yeah.
seats in the House, like putting Marjorie Taylor Greene in like
Anything?
national, like, no, what? They don't need to have any responsibility. And it seems like they were just holding out because they wanted to have these positions. So now we have some of the craziest people in the Congress holding some of the most high and important positions for all of us. So quite devastating in that regard. I don't think the Republicans had anything positive planned for for us anyway. Like, I don't think they
No.
were gonna come and just like bless us with, a check and health care, and they were going to do that anyway. So I guess it's just seeing, just bracing ourselves for how bad it could potentially get. That's how I
Thank
feel.
God we didn't lose the Senate.
Praise the Lord.
And
Mm.
so how much power do you think Kevin, let's just call him Kevin,
Mhm.
because he doesn't really need Speaker McCarthy. How much power do you think Kevin actually has within his party?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. I don't think. Well, so the interesting thing about these negotiations was he gave away a lot of his power just to get the vote. So he basically made it so any old person can raise their hand one day and be like, I want to challenge you. I don't want you to be speaker anymore. And that can just happen at any given moment. So he got rid of any safety or any real power that he had just by giving away so many of the things that make the speaker position what it is. So he's kind of stripped the position of any authority that it would have ultimately had. So he pretty much just has the name at this point. So
And
that's,
was that all he wanted? He just
I
wanted to just have that checklist on his resume or something?
I think he didn't think it was gonna be such an uphill battle for him. I think he thought that people were just gonna let him be the speaker and he would have all his speaker duties and he would be able to go about his business. I think he was really caught off guard that this whole block the vote thing happened and lasted as long as it did. Like the fact that he kept going up for votes the same day, multiple times, and losing vote after vote after vote within the same block of a few hours. Like, I don't think he thought it was going to become what it did. So I think at this point, he was just like, realistically, who else is going to be the speaker? There was nobody else. They voted a million times. There was no one else that was even getting close to that 200 plus vote threshold. So I think ultimately it was just a bunch of theater, because even the people who were blocking the vote, like they nominated Donald Trump, like they didn't have a real backup plan anyway. So it was really for theatrics and for them to get on those committees.
I honestly wonder though what would have happened if Kevin would have just been like, all right,
Yeah,
bye.
if you just bowed out, yeah, what was they gonna do exactly? And they were talking about Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan, like that would have been worse. So it's just, I don't know. And they could have lost to dang Hakeem Jeffries. That would have been even more crazy that we have a Republican majority House that was led by a Democrat. Like that they almost screwed themselves over in that regard. So
Seriously. I mean, it's It's like the closest house in 100 and something years.
Hmm. Yeah, craziness.
It's been the closest in over it's the closest House and Senate in over 100 years.
Hmm.
But so we know the Republicans are going to basically just do whatever they can to prevent the Biden administration from doing anything.
Right.
And the Biden documents are just like fresh meat for them. What do
Hmm.
you what do you think's actually going to be found? What do you think the Republican Party even has time to do about it?
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, they love to use the term witch hunt. This is actually a witch hunt because Biden did turn the documents over himself. He didn't have to get raided by the FBI. Like
He
he,
self his lawyer's like, oh shit, and calls the National Archives.
exactly. It seemed like it was really truly an accident. Like it wasn't that many documents. It wasn't anything that was like conspiratorial in my eyes. It seems like it really was an accident. And he's doing something that Trump couldn't do, which is show humility. um, Fess up to when you do something wrong and take whatever comes with that, whether it's a good or bad reaction. And that's the key difference here is that Biden's team, yes, did they make a mistake? Yes. Have they admitted that they made a mistake? Yes. Did they reach out to the proper parties to rectify the mistake? Yes.
Yeah.
Are they willing to face the consequences by getting investigated and doing their due diligence on their side and making sure everything is on the okie doke and on the up and up? Yes, they are. So it's a huge difference in just character, honestly. And
Uh-huh.
intentionality. Trump purposely took all of that stuff in spite because he was mad he lost the election. And it seems as though he had some very nefarious purposes for the documents and what he was planning to do with it, which is why he didn't want to admit that he had them, which is why he was turning over a few documents at a time. So it's very clear that the motives were different. And it's clear that Trump didn't have the best intentions for us with those documents. So I
No.
think that's probably the key differentiator here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But but how long do you think the sideshow is going to be on these documents? I mean, we can have giant congressional can't hearings where I mean, they're still talking about having a nice gigantic congressional hearing about Hunter Biden.
Yeah, they're gonna milk this till they're gonna milk this forever. Like, think about when Hillary's emails came up. I think we just stopped hearing about Hillary's emails like last year. So they
Yeah, and
talked
that's
about that for like 6 years. So we're gonna hear about this probably for another six. Like,
I don't know. I feel like I've heard about Hillary's emails after this came out. It's like,
yeah,
oh
now
look,
I'm back. Yeah. So I feel like they're gonna milk this until the end of time. We're never going to hear the end of it. And that's very purposeful and strategic on their end because if they can distract their voters, then they don't have to deliver for their voters. So it's a win-win for them.
yeah.
Mhm.
But then also it could be a win for us though in
It could make
2024.
them look bad. That's the thing. I feel a rant inside of me boiling up. But that's the thing with Republicans. Y'all like are gonna keep getting y'all own selves whooped politically because y'all refuse to do anything positive for your voters. Like they just it's like they have a I don't even know, like a reaction. Sometimes it's like they're allergic to doing any good for their voters. Like they
I know, right?
like they break out in hives if the idea of like protecting their constituents comes up in any sort of way. So we did see in the not the general, but the what's the ones that just passed?
Midterms.
Thank you. The midterms. We just saw in the midterms how that did not work for them, how they were expecting to have this huge red wave. We're going to wipe the floor with the Democrats. It's going to be so many of us. And they barely won the House, did not win
Barely.
it. And a lot of their craziest candidates across the country lost super bad. So it's just like, at least do something. Like, I think that's probably what weirds me out the most about this current political climate. Is like, y'all not even pretending to be doing anything for your constituents. Like,
I mean, you've got an issue like maternal health care or maternity leave. And I mean, if Republicans are so pro-birth, where's maternity leave?
It would be a lot.
Everybody would agree on maternity leave. Every single person in that house would sign a bill saying, "Yes, we should get whatever more maternity leave than we have right now."
It would be a layup. It's so funny that you bring that up because this morning I was thinking to myself about this very specific thing. And I was like, I wish we had an actual two-party system because I'm tired of feeling like I'm being gaslit 24/7. Like it quite literally has negative effects. I know for me, my damn mental health is hearing
Mhm.
people lie constantly and like feed me crap and call it sugar type of thing all the time. Like if y'all, so put it this way, I was thinking about this today. If Republicans truly were the moral family values folks, then people wouldn't even hate them as much. Like if they were anti-abortion but pro-family, as in gave child tax credits, as in gave
Mhm.
maternity, as in helped regulate the healthcare industry as far as how much it freaking even costs to give birth, because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars these days to even give birth. If they were doing all of this stuff, protecting families, but also anti-abortion, we could at least have, okay, there's consistency in this messaging and it would seem a bit more sincere. And then
Right.
it would just be a true battle of ideas and what makes this country better from two different lenses and perspectives, from a conservative lens and from a progressive lens. But that's not what it is. You have these same people that are okay with it costing. I saw a TikTok this weekend of this girl, she had triplets and the hospital charged her 500,000 each for each baby that she delivered. So she has a hospital bill of $1.5 million for having triplets. Are the Republicans going to do anything about that? No. Do they
I
care? Probably not.
my fif- so with insurance, 15,000 for my oldest, 8,000 for my 1 year old because I nearly died when I had my first. So
Mm.
costs more because I nearly died.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's just, it's another rant that I can talk about another day, but it's just so many very, very real issues happening. And nobody's talking about them. Nobody's coming up with solutions about these very real, tangible issues that everyday Americans are facing. And I think that's really frustrating. It's frustrating for me, and it should be frustrating for all of us. That's
Oh,
why we have so many people who don't vote.
and then you have people who don't realize that the Republican Party is against the thing that you need.
Yeah. So it just,
It's like, well, I'm a Republican just because I was in the military, because Republicans seem to be pro-military, even though
they're not.
you're,
The veterans are on the street. You're on the street.
I know.
So, like, it's this, there's something happening.
And then you've got, I mean, male veterans have it worse because most shelters in most places are for women. But
Mhm.
then you've got female veterans who are on the streets because they can't get into the veterans shelters because people set up veteran shelters for men because they forget women are veterans too. And a
Mhm.
lot of it's
It's a mess. It
yeah,
truly is a mess. And it's,
there it's a mess, and I'm grateful that younger people are voting, but we still need the rest of them.
yeah, we need everybody to vote. Voter turnout is very low. And so I live in Texas. So we just had a huge election with our governor, who is a piece of crap. He's a
Yep.
terrible being in every way. And we had a phenomenal person running against him who should have won. But it's just the voter turnout. People aren't motivated. And it's unfortunate because he ran a very good race, an excellent race. But a lot of people just aren't tapped in, or they just kind of feel like the system is a failure regardless of who the candidate is. And I wish there would be more ways to help get voters back engaged in the political process and not have so much despair about the whole thing. But I understand their perspective. I see why they feel that way. But at the same time, it's like a counterproductive mindset, you know?
I think midterms are a big problem when it comes to that, is that people don't vote in midterms. And so then you've got a candidate who has to sell themselves for an older audience, for
Mhm.
a more conservative audience. Then when they get to the general election, that candidate is will either be more liberal or more conservative by the time they reach the general election, and it confuses a lot of different voters.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I wish there was a way. Well, I don't know if they would ever do this, but I just thought about it. They should just have the governor race at the same time as the presidential race. Why don't we do that? Because I feel like that would help, the voter turnout a lot. Because there's a lot of people
Oh,
who presidential races who don't even touch special elections or
I
midterms.
think that's on purpose.
For sure.
Oh, Virginia. I lived in Virginia for a while. Their governor election's an odd year.
And they do that on purpose.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
Same with
100%.
us. Yeah, so it's like, girl, just yeah, if we had all the important elections every 4 years, people would be there because they're gonna go vote for president. So so
Yeah.
many things, so many ways we can fix
I
all of
don't understand. I seriously, I know why Republicans are trying to make it harder for people to vote.
it.
It's very frustrating. In almost every other country in the world, you can vote by mail, you can vote, you election day is a holiday that you get off, that there it's easy to vote. And in many places in this country, I don't think people really understand how hard it is to vote for
It's
some people.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. Even just, I mean, gerrymandering and a lot of these voting bills are very purposeful. They purposely want it to be more difficult for people to vote because they don't think they have a winning ideology. They don't think that they have a message that that resonates with people. So, in order to win without having a winning message or a winning platform, you just suppress the vote. There was this one guy, I forgot what state it was, and I forgot what seat he was running for, but it was on the news because he sent an email out basically saying, "Congratulations, Republicans, we were able to suppress the vote in all of the Black and Latina areas in our district. Yay!" Like he literally just boldface said it in an email blast to his constituents. He was like, "If it wasn't for us coming up with all of these crafty legislations, we would have never won. Woo!" And it's like they know they're doing this on purpose.
There's no other way to put it. I mean, when you notice that Maryland is I think Maryland is the craziest gerrymandered state in just like the way that the lines look, and it'll be like one side of the streets in one district and one's in another.
Oh my goodness.
And it's I just moved to Michigan, and and I mean, it's not as gerrymandered, but I'm in a very red area.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. Luckily for me, I live in Dallas. So Dallas is blue, but Texas is one of those places. If you just drive a good 10-15 minutes outside of Dallas, you are in a whole new world. And it is
My
completely
next door neighbor has a Trump flag, and they knocked on our door. My Asian husband answered the door, and they were like, "Oh, we were wondering if you're interested in the coming to the Republican Party meeting." I'm like,
no, I'm not. No,
"No,
thank you.
no,
No,
thank
thank
you. No,
you.
thank you. Have a good day."
Please and thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, no. It's no good for me and my boys.
Not at all. Y'all don't care about us.
No. My
Mm-mm.
boys, I want my boys to have a full education and to learn about the world as it is and not the world as it's imagined to be.
Exactly.
And I have a degree in history, and I sit there and I hear people try to say that Democrats try to change history, and that it's like, no, no, dude. Democrats aren't changing history. It's people are telling the full story.
Exactly. And y'all, they're the ones that are quite literally banning books.
Yeah.
Like, so y'all don't want people to know their history because you liked it back then. And I would just rather people start being honest. I would rather the Republicans come out and say, you know what? I'm gonna keep it so real with you. We loved sexism. We loved it when the women's couldn't have their bank accounts. We loved it when they couldn't make decisions for themselves. We loved seeing the blacks at the other water fountain. It was awesome. Just like tell the truth, okay? I would be better with that. Like at least we're having honest conversations. I don't like that they try to disguise it and cloak everything in something else. Like just be honest. Cause it's like you're BSing. You know it. But you want me to pretend like I don't know it. And
Mm.
that's what's annoying.
My first day of my history 201 class, they're like, anybody who tries to tell you history is unbiased doesn't know anything about history because everything is about what point of view you're reading it from, what point of view everything's being written from, who's saying it.
Yeah, because people can, well, I mean, whitewashing is
That's
a
why that's why women, minorities were all hidden from history because everything was written from a white guy's point of view.
exactly, and very much on purpose.
Hmm.
And very much on purpose. Yeah, it's crazy. I know, like, even with Ron DeSantis right now, he's trying to ban African American studies. First of all, that's just racism.
Yeah.
It's not CRT. It's not whatever you're trying to say. That's
Black people have lived in this country
yeah,
by force since 16.
literally, you can't just decide you're not going to teach AP Black African American studies anymore. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's things are progressively getting worse and more blatant. But I don't like how we don't get to have like honest conversations about it. Like,
Well,
why?
it's because electing Obama cured racism.
Clearly, it didn't cure. It gotten worse. It's gotten worse. It was some type of revolt that happened after Obama was elected. There were some secret meetings, and they was just like, "Nah, never again." And it's just been on a downward spiral ever since. Sadly, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Do you think Joe Biden's going to run in 2024?
I think he's going to. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't think he has a choice. A few months ago, or maybe even sometime last year, it would have been nice for him to be like teeing up a replacement, or it would have been nice for them to be utilizing Kamala more in this past time, so she could have been.
Hmm?
But they destroyed her. Her reputation is shot. Nobody gives a crap about Kamala Harris anymore. And anytime that they had to do some press on something tough, they sent Kamala. So it was just nobody likes her anymore. Like, the little appeal that she had is completely gone. And he don't have anybody else that could even run for president. So we really just stuck with him at this point. So
I
God
mean,
bless.
there's a few people who are talking about Governor Whitmer of Michigan. I mean,
Oh,
after getting almost getting kidnapped, I guess that raised her street cred, but I don't know.
see, be mad at seeing a Democratic primary. I wouldn't be mad at it at all because truly, Biden is old. That baby has been a politician for quite literally over 50 years. Okay. So,
He was the youngest senator
mhm,
ever when he
mhm,
was elected in 70 whatever it was.
mhm. Well, yeah,
And
quite literally been here for a longer than we've all been alive. So yeah, if we have a Democratic primary and some, scrappy young progressive or scrappy young Democrat comes along, I would not be mad at seeing them face off. I think it's needed.
at the very least, we need a primary just to get the issues out there.
For nothing else, just to get the issues out there, just to put up a fight, because I just feel like even the Democratic Party itself is just kind of fooling itself on the confidence that they have that the American people won't go the other way. We are more polarized than this nation has quite literally ever been. We haven't been this polarized probably since the 1960s. So for us to be in a position where it could tip into either quite literal authoritarianism and fascism and the Hunger Games and the Handmaid's Tale, or democracy, because it's not that super progressive on this side either, but it's just
No.
democracy or the Hunger Games. Those are that's like and the fact that we are in such a teeny weeny 1 to 2% window of that is terrifying. And I think we need to have a president who can put up a fight and face that with the vigor and seriousness that it needs, because that's such a serious thing. We could lose this entire country as we know it. So we need somebody that can, get out there, put the
Yeah.
boxing gloves on. Like, this isn't game time. This isn't
Yeah.
play.
We need to put Kamala out there if he keeps her as vice president.
Yeah,
We need
something we got.
because at this point, you're not hearing names.
Yeah,
you're not really hearing names of people who could even be out there in 2028 because
no,
he can only
there's
do this twice.
yeah. So he needs to, yeah, they got to get it together. I would like to see them do some type of, they need a killer PR strategy. They need to come in here with the PR of all PRs to turn Kamala's brand around and get her into running shape because she's been on the bench. And
Way
she
too long.
way too long. And she hasn't been putting herself in the best light. Like all her interviews that I've seen her do, terrible. She had terrible takes and she didn't appear likable at all. Like it's just not looking good for her. She really got to turn it around because I would love for it to be her. That'd be awesome. But
Her, Beto or Beto,
Beto, please let it be Beto. I would take a bullet for Beto. I would take
or what the hell is his name? The Secretary of Transportation. What's his
which
name?
one?
Oh, it's the Secretary of Transportation
Oh, Pete
currently.
Buttigieg.
Yeah,
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg,
I don't like
Pete.
Buttigieg.
Let's just call him Pete. I
Pete,
mean, I
Mayor
don't love him, but I mean, he's at least
Younger.
true. I
Hmm.
love somebody who was, born in the 70s or 80s rather than somebody who was born,
Serving since the 70s.
yeah, somebody born in the 70s, not somebody who went to college in the 60s.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice. But Pete, I don't know. Pete seemed fake to me. Like I feel like you can just kind of see through him. Like he won't
I think he's
politics.
angling. I think he's
Yeah,
angling and he's trying to get, he's trying to get his good name out there. And I think he's got a PR team working with him.
definitely. They need to. I don't know. And I know American people hate it too. I just hate when like somebody's trying to be a politician. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It,
hate it, but it works. I mean,
it works for
Obama.
certain people. Like
It
Beto,
worked for Obama.
it worked for Obama, but Obama, if you've seen Obama speak,
Oh
chills.
well, yeah,
You know what I mean?
I did. I lived in
Like,
Illinois. I saw his Senate run for the
and that's
Illinois
what I
State Senate.
mean. Yeah, like chills. He may be a politician, but he's passionate. Pete, when he talk, Pete just
Mm,
talking. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's what it is. You gotta sell it. He ain't selling it.
You know
Obama
what?
recently
We need to find some nice 40-year-old that you could work with to get them ready to go.
something. That's how Beto was. I've seen Beto speak. He be pissed off. And I love that because yeah, because get pissed off. This is serious. Like this is people's lives. So I like seeing people who, yes, I understand you're trying to run for political office. There's a certain way that you have to go about things, working on campaigns. We all know it, but the heart has to be there and your heart has to be in it. And you have to know your reason. Like that's the number one thing that we tell people when you're running for office or when you're considering running is you have to have a very strong why, because that's what's going to get you into all the doors. That's what's going to be the thing that you cling on to that helps you remain human throughout this whole process. And if these people don't have a why that isn't ego-centered, that isn't I'm doing this because I want to be a senator, that's not a why. That's
Yeah,
not why, and that's what we need. That's what we need.
I agree wholeheartly. Well,
Mhm.
we're hitting our end time. Is there anything you would like to add before we end this interview?
Yes, if you're running for office, if you're thinking about running for office, or even if you have an inkling or know somebody who's thinking or is running for office, please email me at Amani at soul-strategies, that's SOLE-strategies.com, and follow us at Soul Strategies on Instagram, soulstrategies.com, and we love to hear from you.
Links will be at the bottom, and I will. And thank you for coming on the Sexy Politico. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you all next week. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.